Hey guys, it's Ben Seung from Australian Strength Performance, and today we're going to be discussing the split squat. We're going to be comparing the differences between a split squat and a lunge and talk about the Bulgarian split squat. What exactly is it? Is there a difference between these three different variations? Stay tuned. So the difference between a lunge and a split squat is really a technical difference. When you're looking at a lunge is a dynamic movement. So essentially when I do a lunge, I'm constantly moving. It could be a walking lunge, it could be a drop lunge where I'm going forward and backwards. It's a dynamic movement. A split squat is literally a lunge in a single position where my body moves up and down. And that's exactly what a split squat is. So it's in one position. In performing a split squat and a lunge, these are some of the differences you would see, apart from the fact that one is dynamic, one is static, which is more of a technical difference. Most people perform a lunge where they drop their back foot, so it's pretty much this movement. When you do this, you realize that my front knee doesn't pass my toes. In fact, I'm going up and down, very much like an elevator sort of movement. When I start to do this, you realize that if this is called a lunge, a squat for me is really this movement. So you can see how I'm actually performing a half squat as opposed to a full range of movement squat. So a lunge that doesn't allow your knees to pass your toes is very much half of a half squat. Now when I do a split squat, there are a couple of things that I look for. In a proper split squat, I aim to make sure that if I am able to squat ass to grass, I want to make sure that my front knee can go past my toes. So an ideal split squat will look like this. Now there are a couple of things that I look for in a split squat. The first thing is to ensure that as I come down, my hamstrings clamp my calf. Now in order to do that, my ankles need to be flexible enough to allow that to happen. So I need strong ankles and a good range of movement. So even as I come down, my hamstrings can clamp my calf. So you watch my knees extend past my toes. This is great if you can do a full squat. Now my back foot tends to be extended. So I want to extend my back foot. So I stretch my hip flexors and I come up. Now the movement in an ideal split squat is a forward-backward movement. So I think of this as an escalator, going down and backwards, as opposed to an elevator of coming up and down. So if you see me coming down, clamping it, I push backwards. So it's a backward, forward movement, clamp, and that's what an ideal split squat should look like. These are the three things you need to look for in a split squat. Now, a Bulgarian split squat is a variation where your back foot is elevated. Now, remember when I did the split squat earlier on, my front foot was flat on the floor. Now, obviously, if you're not able to have the amount of flexibility in your ankles and you can't come down all the way to clamp your hamstrings to your calf, then what I would do is to elevate my front foot. That is a regression, so it makes it easier so that range of movement is not as low. You minimize the range of movement. Now this variation, the Bulgarian split squat, it's not basically a rear foot elevated split squat. It's something slightly different because the height of which you're elevating your back foot is relatively high. It's about mid-shin height. So here I'm using a CC squat implement. Now I'm going to put my back foot on the roller because it's more comfortable that way. And with this implement, my back foot is not raised too high. You see a lot of people that perform Bulgarian split squats with their back foot really high. You probably don't want to do that. It's about mid-shin height. So in this particular position, I drop, and as I drop all the way down, you can see that my goal is not to push my knees past my toes as much as I can. It is to drop my body vertically. All right. So again, it's a different variation of it. So the movement of a Bulgarian split squat will look like this. You don't want to lean your body forward, you want to keep your torso upright and hinging your back foot as you press from your front foot. That's a Bulgarian split squat. Now I really hope this video gave you a good explanation between
a lunge and a split squat, and gave you the differences between a split squat and a Bulgarian split squat as well. Now, we also highlighted some criteria that you need to follow when you're doing a proper split squat, and the height of the Bulgarian split squat and the movement, which is extremely important. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video and you're using these tips to help grow those quads and better your leg session. If you do have any comments, please leave it in the comment section below, and feel free to like this video. We love likes.